Welcome everyone to the July 29th, 2025 special Board of Directors meeting. We are virtual. I'm calling this meeting to order. I'm going to call the roll. Michelle Denning is not here. Benji Woodard appears not to be here. Jason Geip.
Here.
Jeremy Pierce.
Here.
Chris Kaiser.
Here.
Lindsay Spang.
Here.
Okay. All right. It appears we have a quorum. I'm going to read our ethics statement. Conflict of interest reminder. Board members are reminded that it is our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest as we handle the work of this board. Does any member of the board know of any conflict of interest or any appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before us at this meeting? If so, please state them for the record. If during the course of the meeting you become aware of any actual or apparent conflict of interest, please bring the matter to the attention of the chair. It will then be your duty to abstain from participating in discussion on the matter and from voting on the matter. Any conflicts? Okay. It appearing there are no conflicts, I'll move on to our first and only item on the agenda, and that is review of handbooks. And I will turn that over to Dr. Blackwell.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight we need to revisit the employee handbook and then also the student and family handbook. So what you have in the drive are the handbooks, and then you also have a document that lists all of the changes and the page numbers that they correlate to. I think the employee one's going to be the quickest one to do tonight because we had already talked about it. You all had submitted suggestions and things that needed to be changed. And all of those have been changed. So if you look at that document, my drive isn't open, just a second. You'll see one that's got highlighted on it. So the 25-26 employee handbook, anything that's highlighted on that little document are things that you all requested for me to change in the board meeting in June. And then I also added in any suggestions that had been received after that. And then the changes that had been made based on those suggestions as well. I'll give you a minute to catch up with me.
I would just say that I reviewed the employee handbook today, and I don't have any additional changes for that one. I have several for the student one, but not necessarily changes for the student ones, but some concerns. But I had nothing for the employee handbook.
Okay. Well, if there are no other issues with the employee handbook, then I would ask for the board to approve that.
Okay. Does anyone have any other comments regarding the employee handbook?
There was a lot of work put into that from that whole team, and we appreciate all that work. I'm going to make a motion that we accept or approve the employee handbook as written.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Lindsay?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, do we want to go ahead and make a motion to approve the student handbook and then wait till discussion, or do we want to make some amendments first and
I think
move
we
as
should probably.
amended.
I think we should probably discuss it before, because I had several things that I was a little concerned about.
Okay, go ahead, Lindsay.
So, okay, let me pull it up. Let me get out of this employee one. Okay, sorry, I made notes. The first is on, just going in order. The first is on page 11. There's the new language about how.
Question, real quick, Lindsay. Are we on draft 2, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Making sure I was in the right place.
So page 11 is with where it said, where the new language is, where it's going to be, if they're not there past if they're not there at 3:15, they're going to be walked over to the on-campus place. And it says, we'll charge the per minute charge and or the daily rate for their services. I think you have to give notice of what that is, or link to it or something. Because I think the previous version said what it was per minute if somebody was late. So I think you need to give that.
Okay.
The second is, the way this reads, it's like at 3:15 they're going over there. Is carpool actually done at 3:15? I know the first few weeks it's not.
No, not the first few weeks. Essentially, we say 3:15 because when we get to where it is over at 3:15, that's when we'll walk them over.
Okay.
I mean, but we could change that to say the end of carpool.
Yes, I would change that because it sort of reads like at 3:15, it doesn't matter who's in line in the carpool.
Mhm.
They're going over there and they're going to have to get out of their car and go get their kids.
Gotcha.
The other thing at the bottom of page 11 is parent carpool expectations.
Mhm.
I caution you of putting NCS school staff in a position of being a witness in a criminal case, which is sort of what this is doing.
Okay.
So it's saying that if there is the smell of any illegal drugs is detected by carpool staff, so not by the law enforcement officer or by the SRO, that the adult will be asked to park and the school resource officer will investigate prior to allowing the child to enter the vehicle.
Mhm.
Your staff's going to be subpoenaed every single time that happens to come and testify in court, because they're going to say, well, how did the officer learn about this? Oh, well, staff told me. And unless you're going to be putting your teachers in training for detecting the odor of illegal drugs, I'm a little concerned about the language of that, because I think it puts a burden on the staff.
Okay.
And I will also tell you that there's a lot of litigation currently about the odor of marijuana versus the odor of hemp.
Mhm.
And that has really muddied the waters with some of that. So it's just, I don't know, that I'm just, as a former criminal attorney, I'm concerned for your staff.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
Lindsay, before you move on to your next things, maybe we'll have some comments on those two things. I did have a few comments regarding your first comment about the rate. My only concern is if this is a handbook, so you know, if we set a rate and it changes every year, we're going to need to amend our handbook every year.
Can we link to their rates? Like, do they have a listing of their rates that we could link to?
Mm-hmm. And it's been $1. It's been $1 a minute and it's on that list of extra fees that you all approved, I think, a couple of years ago. But that's what it has been.
Okay,
we can link that.
Okay, my second comment about the illegal substances, I agree with you about putting the language in there, because I think in practice and what has happened in the past is that staff members act, in my experience on the board, it's only been, the smell of alcohol, and the staff has acted appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, you probably don't want to put the language in the handbook. And in regards to the hemp versus the marijuana issue, that's a huge issue. Law enforcement doesn't even attempt to, differentiate between the two. So I'm in agreement on that. Anybody else have any comments about those two aspects of the handbook that Lindsay pointed out. Okay. All right, Lindsay, did you have any others?
Yes, but if other
Okay.
people want to jump in, they're welcome to.
Okay. Well, no, let's just go through with yours, and then you may have the same one as other folks.
Okay. Page 62 is the updated dress code, and I just found something that was a little bit inconsistent in some of the language. Sorry, let me get to it. So under bottoms, it adds no jeans or pants with holes above the fingertip length. But then down below where it says some examples of attire that cannot be worn, it says jeans and pants with holes, but it doesn't have the above fingertip length. So I think that could lead to some confusion. Are we getting rid of, I mean, I'm all for having no holes in the pants at all, but right now I think that there's a discrepancy in what the handbook says.
I can remove one or the other or
Or
both.
just add the caveat into, if you're going to have the no pants or holes with holes above the fingertip length, then I think you need to have the above fingertip length in the second part as well.
Got it. Okay.
Let's see. Page 71, where it says that there will be no dismissals after 2:30. Like the latest time a child may be picked up for early dismissal is 2:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I would say absent extraordinary circumstances or something, because if there's an emergency and somebody needs to get their kid between 2:30 and 3, I mean, that I would just put that in there.
Okay.
Page 73. So this is the makeup work. There was a new paragraph added about makeup work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you may need to take out the second one for it to fully make sense under given the new edition, because the new paragraph says that parents or students need to email and find out what their work is that they're missing, sort of at the same time that they're missing. But then that next paragraph says that upon returning to school, it is the student's responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got it.
And then my last one is on page 79. And I know why it's in there, but it gives me some major pause, which is that last sentence, that additionally NCS reserves the right to discipline students up to and including suspension and exclusion for repeated violations by their parents/guardians of this policy. And it gives me real pause that we could be potentially putting something that's going to follow a kid on their academic record for actions that they have no control over with their parents. I mean, unless there is some sort of parent and the student are both part of it, and that there is specific actions taken by the student that is also something that should be written up. I'm really concerned with us disciplining a student for their parents' behavior.
Sure.
And others may disagree, but I don't know. It just made me really nervous.
Well, it's my understanding that historically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Blackwell or anybody else, but if there was an issue with parental behavior that got in the way of, the school day or the educational process, that they just weren't allowed to either come back the next year. It wasn't like a suspension. Does that make sense, Dr. Blackwell?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. I'm not. I know that this was one that came from our council. I am not opposed to taking that out.
but I do think we need to think of scenarios by which we would really be putting other children and families at a disadvantage by not, you know, suspending a student based on the parent's behavior. Does that make sense as well? I haven't given it a lot of thought, so I'm just thinking there probably is a scenario by which,
The way I see it is that if a parent's behavior rises to that level, there are other legal mechanisms to keep them off of school grounds.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you trespass them,
Mm-hmm.
and then if they can't get their kid to school, if you trespass them, then that means that instead of taking disciplinary action against the kids, then they're just going to find a new school.
Mhm.
But what about a situation in which a parent is being abusive to, like verbally abusive to a teacher, and you don't expel them, but you trespass the parent? The teacher still has to communicate with the parent. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of scenarios that wouldn't cover. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, then I still don't think it would be an suspension or exclusion of the student. It would be, they can't, I don't think you title it as that, because that's something that triggers something that's denoted on the student's transcript, right?
Okay.
Like it's more of a, you are no longer part of this school community and you need to send your child elsewhere.
Okay, so what could be an alternative in that situation, Dr. Blackwell?
Well, our handbook also includes expectations of adult behavior. And if they don't meet the expectations of what we expect the adults to behave, there are consequences for that, including up to trespassing. If someone is trespassed, they are only allowed to communicate with us as a school through electronic means. So they would have to email us, and we would have written documentation of all of those interactions moving forward, which would then prevent them from potentially getting on the phone and cursing at a staff member or threatening a staff member. People are, should be less likely to do that in writing, right, than on the phone.
I don't know, but
I should be. Oh, Mr. Kaiser, you're breaking up.
I think we lost Mr. Kaiser. Maybe he'll get back in with us. Did anybody have any other comments while he there? Chris, are you back? We were losing you. Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you are.
Okay, thank you. It's the Wi-Fi. The section we're talking about is the policy for adults here on 78 and 79. So it all talks about adults and their expectations and the consequences thereof. And then the very last sentence, Lindsay brought up in yellow, that's highlighted in yellow. We can just delete that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any language elsewhere, maybe in the absence section, where if there's been excessive absences or tardies where they may be asked to not return to the school? Is there something along those lines? Yes. Could we maybe borrow that and put here that basically says, even if the parent has been, trespassed, if there's continued issues with the child being able to attend, for their own academic progress and the safety of staff and teachers and everything, then it may result in your child being asked to leave Neuse Charter School. Then it's not necessarily a disciplinary action against the kid. It's just a parting of ways.
Yes. reserve the right to impose additional disciplinary consequences for excessive tardies. So say we reserve the right to impose additional disciplinary consequences. Would that be good?
I think that sounds
Okay.
better, because just having that direct language of the student could be suspended or excluded. And frankly, some of these kids might be very embarrassed by the actions of their parents and
Yes.
want nothing to do with it. And
Mhm.
it just gives me great pause to be setting up a child and putting that on their academic transcript to follow them.
Mhm. I pulled that from page 71. The right to impose additional disciplinary consequences. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fifth bullet on page 71. I'll just plug that in right there. That's good.
Okay. Those are all the things that I had.
Okay. Thank you, Lindsay.
Anybody else with any comments or suggestions? Dr. Blackwell, based on the comments and suggestions, do you feel comfortable with a vote as, as you presented it with those corrections, or do you feel like you need to go back, think about it? What are your thoughts?
I'm good. I'm good. I know I need to adjust. I need to put in the link for page 11. I need to adjust the jeans fingertip link for page 62. I need to adjust the page 71 for extenuating circumstances, removed second paragraph on page 73, and correct the discipline wording on page 79. And I think
And also
they're
page
super
the link on page 11, and then we're going to remove the language about the
315 attendance.
the parent carpool the parent carpool expectation.
Yes. Oh, I missed that. What page was that? I'm so sorry.
That's at the bottom of
It is
page 11.
Page 11. Yep. Yeah. I marked it out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
That's everything that I had.
Move that second bullet.
Okay. Well, if there's no further discussion, I think we can entertain a motion to approve the student handbook as I'm not sure what the language needs to be, as amended, or as somebody help me out here.
I think as amended works.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further comments or discussion? Okay. Having heard none, I will call the roll. And you can vote yes or no. Lindsay?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And I will vote yes in favor as well.
Thank you.
All right. So we have the motion passes. Dr. Blackwell, anything further from you?
No, I'm gonna.
Do we need closed session, Dr. Blackwell?
We do need closed session very briefly, but that's it for open for me.
Okay.
I don't think I sent a link for closed session. If you'll give me just a second, I'll send one.
We're gonna
Michelle.
Right here.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So at this time, we will we're going to move into closed session. Mr. Williams is going to stop the recording.
We need a motion.
I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
I move that we go into closed session for personnel discussion.
Second.
All right. Do we always have to call the roll when we're virtual, or can I just say all in favor, aye?
For the video, we're supposed to do roll call vote.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll call the roll. Michelle,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Lindsay.
Aye.
Okay. And I'll vote aye as well. All right. We are hereby moving into closed session. Mr. Williams, will you
Open
please?
session. I will entertain a motion to approve the personnel recommendations that were presented by Dr. Blackwell in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. Jason,
Aye.
Lindsay,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye. Chris.
Aye.
I'll vote aye as well. Motion carries. The personnel recommendations are approved. Is there anything else? I think that's everything that was on the agenda. And being that we have concluded our business, I will now adjourn our meeting. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Aye.
Thank you.